So let's talk about reading files. So in order to read files, there are a few things that you need to know. So assuming you are reading a file, so this is an example of a file that you're going to read. So which has data, which is essentially, let's open up a file. So this has data. So I'm going to open up a file. So this has data, which essentially is a double here and a string here. So going to think about it, so let's do a few things though. The first thing is you need to copy these three files on the top of your program so that it knows that you can take in a file with an exception. This basically tells you that there is a file that needs to be pulled in. This tells you if there is a problem, then it'll throw something and you can catch it. Now, looking at the file, so open the file in a text editor, Word, or whatever you can open it, or drag it in Eclipse. You will be able to see it in Eclipse. So if you drag it in Eclipse, what do you see? You see this value is a double, this value is a string. So what we need to do, and then we need to count how many of these are there. So in this case, how many are there? So you have 722 of them, correct? So if you look at, so what we need to do is first, we need to say, okay, so MPG is a double, this is a double that I'm trying to pull in, and this is basically a string. So you can do it either ways. You can do it either ways. So you can do a double and a string, and this will be the length of the number of inputs that you want to take in. Now that said, the first step is to basically read the file. So this command will actually read the file. And if there is a problem with the file, this will catch the error. So the first thing you need to do once you are reading the file, so file basically goes like from the top of the file, it starts reading every line. So assuming you are giving input from the console, you give one input at a time. This takes all the inputs together. So what you are doing is you are going through, you first open the file. So this is basically the file. So another thing that you need to know where to put the file. Now, so you have this project that you actually created. So you can go into properties. It tells you the location of the project. You see, so you have to put the file in that location of the project. So you go open this into your Windows Explorer or Mac or whatever platform you have, and then put the file in there so it knows where to pick it up. Now, once you pick it up, now this basically copies, essentially opens the file, and then what you do is you read the header. Now, in this case, there is no header. That means there is nothing on top which tells you what these column values are. You see, it just starts off with the data. So you don't need this line. Okay. Then you start with a count. Then you check basically if what you have read in is a double or has something in there. That means it goes one line at a time or one character at one line at a time. And at the end of it, if there is nothing there, it'll stop. So at the end of this, there is no next double. So it'll stop. So what this does is it goes in one line at a time and takes this variable, reads it, puts it in the variable, takes this variable, reads it, puts it in the variable. And then what we are doing is we are outputting, the content out. We are outputting the content out to see what we did, that did it read it correctly. And then we go to the next line. So what at the end of this is, it actually gives you these two arrays. MPG has all the values that for miles per gallon, and name of the car has all the names of the cars for whatever you need it. So if you just take this code and paste it essentially, or use this code, this will actually give you essentially the ability to read files. Now going back again, so let me repeat, you need to import these three classes as you would do scanner. You have to import file not found, and you have to import IO file. So these two. The second thing you need to do is basically define the type of variable. Assuming this was an integer, then in that case you would put int basically int, and then it actually gives you essentially, so if it was an int, you could create an int, or if it was first character was also string, then you make it a string basically. And then if you make it a string, then it'll be basically this is the command that reads the string. Assuming you had an int, then what we could do is, assuming the mpg was an int, then what you could do is say mpg count equal to, I'm commenting it out, so in next int basically will reads an integer. So similarly, you can read other type of data in there, and that'll read it in the array. You have to just make sure that you define it that kind of data. Okay, that's it for this one.